Here's a hard truth most men don't want to hear. Women are not drawn to the guy who clings the hardest. They're not moved by desperate texts, endless pleading, or emotional breakdowns. In fact, those things kill attraction faster than anything else. What women actually crave, even if they'll never admit it out loud, is a man who has the strength to walk away. Not because he doesn't care, but because he values himself too much to beg for someone else's approval. Think about that for a second. The very thing most men are terrified of doing, letting go, moving on, saying, "I don't need this," is the exact thing that makes women respect you. It's controversial because it goes against what society teaches men. You've been told to fight for her, never give up on love, and prove yourself. But here's the reality. When a man shows he's willing to walk away, it flips a switch in a woman's mind. Suddenly, she sees him differently. His value rises. His presence feels more scarce, and scarcity creates desire. Now, this doesn't mean being cold or heartless. It's not about playing games. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to be trapped in situations that drain you. That inner strength is magnetic. Women test men all the time, sometimes knowingly, sometimes without realizing it, just to see if he'll fold under pressure. The man who stands firm and, if necessary, walks away is the one she cannot ignore. Welcome to the channel, fellas. Today, we're breaking down one of the most misunderstood truths in dating and relationships: why women actually want men who can walk away. This might make some of you uncomfortable, but if you stick with me, you'll see exactly why this mindset is so powerful, how it changes the way women respond to you, and most importantly, how it changes the way you see yourself. 1. Women respect the man who can walk away. Here's a truth that a lot of men don't realize until it's too late. Women don't admire the man who sticks around no matter how badly he's treated. They admire the man who has the strength to walk away when his value isn't being respected. That ability alone separates you from the crowd, because most men can't do it. They tolerate disrespect, they overinvest their time, and they keep chasing in the hope that one day she'll finally see their worth. But she never does. Why? Because the moment she senses you're too afraid to walk away, she knows she has the upper hand. Women are drawn to strength, not just physical strength, but emotional strength and backbone. A man who can walk away sends a silent but powerful message. I don't need you to feel whole. I'm good on my own. That's incredibly attractive because it shows independence, self-respect, and standards. Think about it. When a woman knows you won't leave no matter what, what's stopping her from testing you? If she disrespects you, argues unnecessarily, or plays games, and you still stick around, she concludes that your love is unconditional weakness. But when she realizes you can walk away at any point, the dynamic shifts completely. Suddenly, she has to show up. She has to put effort in. She has to respect your time and energy. Imagine this. You're dating a woman and she starts pulling back. Most men panic. They chase harder, send more messages, and double their efforts to win her back. That's the worst move you can make. The man who gets respect is the one who notices the shift, doesn't argue about it, and simply steps back. If she wants to go, let her go. That calmness, that ability to not beg or plead, makes her rethink everything. It makes her question if she's losing a man who's rare. Walking away isn't about playing games. It's about knowing your value. It's saying, I'm not going to waste my energy where it's not appreciated. That mindset automatically raises your stock in her eyes. Women know how hard it is to find a man who isn't needy, who won't tolerate nonsense, and who doesn't fear being alone. At the core, this is what creates respect. And without respect, there can be no real attraction. Women may tolerate a weak man for comfort, but they'll never truly admire him. They admire the man who draws a line, who doesn't compromise his self-respect, and who can walk away if the energy isn't right. And here's the kicker. Walking away doesn't always mean the end. More often than not, it makes her come back because she realizes you're not like the rest. But even if she doesn't, you win because you've kept your dignity intact. And that's more valuable than any relationship built on weakness. 2. Absence creates space for desire. One of the most overlooked truths in male-female dynamics is this: desire grows in absence, not in constant presence. A woman cannot miss what is always right in front of her. And if you never give her the space to feel your absence, she will never have the opportunity to appreciate your presence. Most men make the mistake of over-availability. They think the more they text, call, show up, and prove themselves, the more a woman will want them. But in reality, the opposite happens. Overexposure kills intrigue. Think about it. Even your favorite food loses its appeal if you eat it every single day. The same principle applies to attraction. When you step back and allow distance, something powerful happens in a woman's mind. She starts to reflect. She begins to notice the void your absence creates. She wonders what you're doing, who you're with, and whether you're thinking about her. That mental curiosity is the root of longing. Without absence, there's no space for her imagination to work. Here's where men often sabotage themselves. They can't handle silence. The moment she doesn't text back, they double message. If she's slow to respond, they send memes or just checking in texts. All of this screams insecurity. It shows she's the center of your world, and once she senses that, the mystery is gone. Mystery is oxygen for attraction. It keeps her guessing, and guessing keeps her emotionally invested. Absence also reveals value. Imagine a man who is always available compared to a man who is selective with his time. Which one do you think a woman respects more? Obviously, the one who demonstrates that his time is valuable. If she sees you're not always accessible, she interprets it as, he has a life. He has options. He's not waiting around for me. That realization makes her chase your attention instead of taking it for granted. The psychological effect is undeniable. When you pull back, she's forced to face her own feelings. Does she actually like you? Does she miss your energy? Does she notice the difference in her day without you? Those questions only surface when you're not constantly filling the space. Now, this doesn't mean you disappear to play games. It's not about manipulating her. It's about living your life. Women are drawn to men who have passions, goals, and purpose beyond them. If you spend time investing in yourself, chasing your ambitions, and focusing on your own growth, she'll naturally feel your absence. And when she does, she'll respect the fact that you're not orbiting around her like most men do. Absence is what triggers the thought, maybe I could lose him. And that thought alone flips the dynamic. Because the moment a woman thinks she might lose you, she invests more. She pays more attention. She values the time she gets with you. The truth is simple. Presence maintains connection, but absence creates desire. If you master this balance, you'll never have to chase a woman again. She'll chase you. 3. The shift in power dynamics. When a woman leaves, most men panic. They think the only way to win her back or keep her interest is by chasing, begging, or proving themselves worthy. But the truth is, those behaviors only solidify her position of power. She becomes the prize, and you reduce yourself to a desperate pursuer. That dynamic kills attraction instantly. Here's what happens when you stop chasing and pull back instead. The power shifts. Women are used to being pursued. It's the default script of dating. Most men follow the same pattern. Constant calls, good morning texts, and a flood of attention that gives her validation without her doing much in return. When you refuse to play that role, you disrupt the script. She can no longer predict your behavior, and uncertainty is powerful. The moment you step out of the pursuer role, you force her to evaluate her own interest. She starts asking herself questions. Why isn't he chasing me? Does he not care anymore? Is he losing interest? Or worse, has he found someone else? These thoughts create tension, and tension creates attraction. Now let's be clear. This isn't about playing childish games. It's about refusing to operate from neediness. Power in relationships always tilts toward the person who needs the other less. The more you need her validation, attention, or approval, the less she values you. But the man who shows he can walk away at any time is the man who holds the frame. This shift in dynamics isn't just about her. It's about you too. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your dignity and self-respect. You start operating from strength instead of insecurity. You remind yourself that you are not defined by one woman's attention. That mindset alone changes the way you carry yourself, and women feel that difference immediately. Another layer to this is scarcity. In psychology, scarcity increases value. When something is rare, it's perceived as more valuable. By not always being available, by creating some distance, you instantly increase your perceived value in her eyes. She realizes your attention isn't something to take for granted anymore. She has to earn it. And when she feels she has to earn it, she invests more. Many men fear that pulling back will push her away completely. But in reality, if she leaves when you stop chasing, it means she was never really interested to begin with. That's not a loss. That's clarity. 4. Why distance makes her question herself. One of the most powerful aspects of not chasing a woman is the way distance plays with her psychology. At first, she might feel confident about leaving you or pulling away. She thinks she has you figured out. Predictable, always available, and always there whenever she feels like reaching out. But when you stop chasing, that safety net disappears, and suddenly she's left with questions she didn't expect to ask herself. The first thing distance does is create silence, and silence is uncomfortable for most women. Why? Because women thrive on emotional connection and communication. When you're not constantly reaching out, she starts to wonder what's going on in your mind. That silence becomes louder than any words you could have spoken. She begins to ask, why hasn't he texted? Why hasn't he called? Is he thinking about me at all? Those questions eat at her. Second, distance forces her to reflect on her decisions. If she left you or started pulling away, she likely believed she could come and go without consequence. But when you don't chase her, you flip the script. Instead of being the one questioning yourself, she starts questioning herself. She begins to replay the relationship in her head, looking for clues. Did I misjudge him? Was he more valuable than I realized? Did I make a mistake walking away? That uncertainty creates doubt, and doubt pulls her emotions back toward you. Another key element here is the fear of replacement. Women are highly aware of competition. They know that if you're not chasing them, you could easily be giving your time, attention, and energy to another woman. Even if you're not, the possibility alone is enough to stir jealousy and insecurity. That fear makes her reevaluate your worth because, suddenly, she sees you as a man other women might want, and women desire what other women value. Distance also highlights your self-control. Most men can't handle the discomfort of silence. They break first. They send the text, make the call, or try to get her attention back. But when you don't cave, it shows strength. It shows that you're not desperate and that you can manage your emotions. Women respect men who can control themselves because it signals discipline, confidence, and leadership. Over time, the distance does something even more powerful. It makes her miss you. Human psychology is simple. When something is absent, the brain fills the gap with longing. She starts to remember the good times, the laughs, the moments of intimacy. And because you're not there to remind her of the flaws or problems, she idealizes those memories. 5. How women react to a man who stops chasing. When you stop chasing a woman, her reaction isn't random. It follows a very predictable psychological pattern. At first, she may act like she doesn't care, but as time passes, her behavior begins to shift. Understanding these stages is crucial because it shows you why holding your ground works better than chasing. The first reaction is usually confusion. She's used to you being available, reaching out, or making the effort. So when you stop, she notices the change immediately, even if she doesn't admit it. In her mind, she's asking, "What happened? Did he lose interest? Did I push him away too far?" That confusion alone creates curiosity, and curiosity is the seed of attraction. The second stage is often testing. Women test men to measure their value and strength. If she sees you stop chasing, she may try subtle ways to draw you back in. Maybe she likes one of your posts, sends a random "hey" text, or asks a casual question just to see how you respond. She's not doing this because she misses you deeply yet. It's her way of checking if she still has you under control. The worst mistake you can make here is jumping at the bait. The best thing you can do is remain calm, polite, but not overly eager. That shows her you're not desperate for her validation. The third stage is insecurity. When her attempts don't get the reaction she expected, she starts to feel uncertain. Women are used to men chasing, so when you don't, it makes her question her attractiveness and her hold over you. That insecurity can be powerful. It often leads her to chase you. She might suddenly try harder to get your attention, reach out more frequently, or even become jealous at the thought of you moving on. Another reaction you'll notice is respect. When a man refuses to chase, it signals strength. She sees that you're not controlled by her emotions, and that makes her see you differently. Respect is a critical foundation of attraction. Without it, nothing else works. By not chasing, you show her that you're not afraid of losing her, and that independence is magnetic. Some women will also experience frustration. If she's used to men chasing her and getting her way, your lack of pursuit disrupts that pattern. She may become annoyed, act colder, or even try to provoke you. This is where many men fold because they confuse frustration with disinterest. 6. Why walking away increases a woman's desire. Most men are taught the opposite of what actually works with women. They're told to be persistent, to keep proving themselves, and to chase harder when a woman pulls away. But the truth is, nothing destroys desire faster than chasing. When you walk away, however, something interesting happens. Her attraction often grows stronger. Let's break down why. First, walking away shifts the power dynamic. When you're always available and always chasing, she holds all the cards. She gets to decide when and if she gives you attention. But when you stop playing that game and remove yourself from the chase, the roles reverse. Suddenly, you're no longer predictable. She doesn't know if she still has your interest, and that uncertainty makes her want your validation more than ever. Second, absence makes emotions more intense. Think about it. When someone is always around, you get used to them. You may even take them for granted. But when they step back, you feel the loss more strongly than you expected. That's exactly what happens when you walk away. She might not realize what you meant to her until you're no longer constantly present. Your absence magnifies your value. Third, walking away signals strength and self-respect. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't tolerate disrespect and who value themselves enough to walk away when things aren't mutual. By leaving the situation, you show her that you won't beg for attention or settle for crumbs. That kind of strength is rare, and rare things are always more desirable. Another reason walking away works is psychological reactance. Humans naturally want what they feel they can't have. If she feels like you're slipping away, her desire to get you back often increases, even if she wasn't fully invested before. It's not always logical. It's emotional. The more she senses you're no longer available, the stronger the urge to reclaim your attention becomes. Also, walking away creates mystery. When you're constantly chasing, she knows exactly how you feel and where she stands with you. That kills curiosity. But when you walk away, she starts to wonder, what's he doing? Has he found someone else? Did I lose my chance? That mystery fuels attraction because it forces her to imagine scenarios where you're no longer within her reach. And imagination is a powerful amplifier of desire. 7. How to stay in control, even when she comes back. This is the point where most men mess up. A woman leaves, she feels your absence, her curiosity spikes, her desire grows, and then she comes back. But here's the critical part. If you lose control when she returns, you'll erase all the power and respect you gained by walking away. This section is about teaching you how to handle her return the right way, without slipping back into the old habits that pushed her away in the first place. First, don't rush in with open arms. When a woman comes back, she's not just checking on you, she's testing you. She wants to see if you've truly changed, or if you're still the same guy who would chase, overgive, and settle for less than you deserve. If you jump back into her arms instantly, you confirm that you were just waiting around for her. That destroys the respect she momentarily gained for you. Instead, keep calm. Acknowledge her return, but don't act overly excited. This shows her that your life has moved on, and she needs to earn her place back. Second, set boundaries immediately. If she left before, there was a reason. Maybe she wasn't taking you seriously. Maybe she played games. Maybe she lost respect. Whatever the reason, you can't just ignore it. Boundaries don't mean being harsh. They mean being clear. For example, if she flaked on you before, make it clear you won't tolerate that again. If she gave you minimal effort before, let her see that now you expect consistency. Women respect men who don't compromise their standards. Third, let her prove herself. A mistake men often make is thinking they need to win her back. No, you already showed your value by walking away. If she came back, that means she realized she could lose you. Now it's her turn to prove that she deserves your time, attention, and energy. Don't reward her return with instant commitment. Instead, give her the chance to show consistency through actions, not just words. Fourth, maintain the life you built without her. Maybe you started focusing on your fitness, your goals, your friends, or your passions while she was gone. Don't drop all of that just because she reappeared. If she sees you abandoning your purpose to prioritize her again, she'll lose attraction all over. What drew her back in the first place was your strength and independence, so keep living that way. Fifth, stay emotionally grounded. When she returns, there might be a flood of emotions, relief, excitement, even the temptation to forgive and forget everything. But attraction isn't built on emotion alone. It's built on respect. The calmer and more controlled you remain, the more she feels like she's dealing with a man who can't be shaken. That stability is what makes her invest harder. Walking away is the ultimate power. Attraction isn't about tricks, games, or memorized lines. It's about power dynamics, respect, and self-control. And nothing shifts those dynamics in your favor more than walking away when a woman doesn't value you. It's the one move that forces her to confront the reality of your worth. While most men chase harder when a woman pulls away, you take the opposite path. You step back, you reclaim your energy, and you show her that her presence in your life is a privilege, not a necessity. When you walk away, she feels the loss, the silence, and the emptiness. It sparks curiosity, then desire, then the fear of losing you permanently. That fear is what makes her return. And when she does, the way you handle her comeback determines whether you regain control or lose it all over again. Never forget, the respect you earn from walking away is fragile. The moment you give up your power by rushing back in or abandoning your boundaries, you undo everything. But if you remain calm, grounded, and in control, you turn her return into a new chapter where you set the terms. At the end of the day, women are drawn to men who know their worth and are willing to walk away if that worth isn't recognized. That's what separates the men women chase from the men they take for granted. So remember this: if she doesn't value you, walk away. That single act says more about your strength than words ever could.